Yo, 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 it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg. We the co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
And then today, man, on this episode of the Co-Pilots Podcast, man, we're gonna be talking about Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers. Also, we're gonna be talking about the NBA Finals, and we're gonna finish off the show with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence, and expectations. Let's go. And we back at you guys again, Co-Pilots Podcast, man. Another dope episode, man. How you feeling today, Greg?
Man, I can't complain, man. Everything good as usual, man. You already know, man.
Already, man. And tonight, man, we gonna got a dope episode for the fans out there tonight. And we're gonna try to do this thing a little bit more consistent, me and Greg, man. We still working it, man, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we're gonna get right into it tonight, man. So the first topic we talking about tonight, man, we're gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers. And I mean, for me, I look at the Steelers, bro, as like they had to make this move. I think there was no other quarterback out there. I know a lot of people are getting on Mike Tomlin saying why the wait is so long and everything about getting them in the facility and stuff like that. But I gotta trust Mike Tomlin, man, and what he's doing, man. He's a proven winner. And although he haven't been able to get out of the wild card for the last couple of years, and I think that's why they bringing Aaron Rodgers on. Can he get them farther than the wild card? But I'm gonna let you go off, Greg. What's your thoughts?
I did a little story on this earlier, man. I know I want to say like last week or whatnot. And for me, my thing is this, right? On the surface, it's a great move. You get what I'm saying? You got a veteran. Uh,
You
did
good,
he
bro?
go?
You going? Now you
Oh,
good? You keep
I
going.
thought it
Keep
went
going.
out.
Now you
Okay, man.
good.
For me, man, on the surface, man, it seemed like a great move. You got a veteran quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. That can get you there. He's a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champ, MVP of the league. And although these things was years ago, we know that he still have his quarterback IQ. He's still able to throw the ball. One takeaway, he's not as mobile as he used to be. So on the surface, it seemed like a good move going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And but moving forward, you have to consider this, right? The Steelers fans and that's why I say for me it's a good move on the surface. But when you peel back the legacy and you break down everything, man, you got to consider this. Um, Steelers fan has grown impatient with Mike Tomlin for all the wrong. My thing is this, man. Let's say worst case, let's say it don't play out. You get what I'm saying? It don't play out, and now you have Steelers fans looking at Mike Tomlin as if he needs to leave. He got to go. It was the same thing last year after a season that he got them to the postseason, and the year prior. And year after year you hear this. So I think bringing in a veteran quarterback and falling short of a Super Bowl is going to make the noise more louder in Pittsburgh amongst the Steeler fans.
Man, you put a bold expectation. You think got to be Super Bowl, cuz?
With the Steeler fans, I think, man, I would even say this. I think that if it's not a strong postseason push,
I,
you
I,
know,
I agree with that. Now it has to be a good. He got to get them out of the wild card, dog. You feel me, dog? He got to get them out the wild card because I think when you get a guy like Aaron Rodgers, when we look at a guy like that, that's he's a Super Bowl winner, and they brought a guy like Russell Wilson in Super Bowl winning quarterback. You expect these guys to take you far in the playoffs. Last 2 years it
right.
hasn't been said, but I strongly think that I trust Mike Tomlin, man. This guy, I know Steelers fans probably like, hey, he needs to do better. But like you were saying in the video, bro, fans like us from Jacksonville, dog, we'll take that. Just going to the playoffs
all
every year,
day.
we'll take that every year. So I just think that Steelers fans, you guys y'all been spoiled in a sense. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? They've been spoiled because they so used to winning, they're not used to getting go out in the first round. And I just think that right now, Tomlin's in a rough spot right now. He got to
Right.
win, and it's like if was no quarterbacks out there. I mean, if you think about it, if they really thought it was a quarterback out there, everybody knew they would have drafted Shador. If they
See,
really thought it was a quarterback out there, you get what I'm saying?
my thing is this. I trust Mike Tomlin, right? I trust Mike Tomlin. But the thing is this, I know what's going to come after that. It's the aftermath that come with that if it falls short of some people's expectations.
Right,
Um, it's only one team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl. It's only one team. And I don't think the Steelers have that team that can make a strong, like you look at them from top to bottom or whatnot, you look at their roster. I don't think they have that kind of team where it's like you just put in a veteran quarterback and they just a Super Bowl team. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Now, I mean, if that was the type of team, yeah, you can plug a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers in, and that would be the case. If this was Aaron Rodgers 5 seasons ago, yeah, you would be able to plug Aaron Rodgers in a team like Pittsburgh, and yeah, you know what I'm saying, they can make a strong postseason push. Can they do it? I'm not doubting them. That's not the thing. My thing is this: if it don't work out, you get what I'm saying? It just setting
Girl.
things up for fans to be at odds with Mike Tomlin, and that's my biggest thing with that.
I feel you on that, bro. It's I mean, for the Steelers, bro, you have to be just like hoping that Aaron Rodgers can come in and at least give you something. My biggest concern with Steelers is that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? And Aaron Rodgers, he's an older quarterback. You want to try to protect this guy. Can the Steelers protect him? Because I know Aaron. I mean, last year they had protection issues with Wilson on the center. Then in the free agency, they lost their tackle to the Titans.
Right.
So it's like can they protect Aaron Rodgers? I think that's the biggest question on I think the success of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need some more weapons too. Najee Harris gone now, I believe. They lost Pickens to the Cowboys. So you're asking a lot for Aaron Rodgers to do. But again, what other options you had out there? You didn't have nothing else out there. You get what I'm saying? You passed on Shador. You didn't take quarterback in the draft. You let Justin Fields walk. You let Wilson walk. So you felt like, hey, you could win without those guys. You get what I'm saying? So you had no choice. I feel like, but I think I trust Tomlin, man. I just think Steelers fans got to trust Tomlin, man. I know I'm beating the dead horse saying that, but at this point, what else can you do? You
Right. Exactly.
know what I'm saying? So we're gonna segue into the finals talk, and we're gonna segue into the NBA Finals. And I think when you look at the NBA Finals right now, man, I think we both picked OKC to win it. And right now, I think
Right.
last night, I mean, the last game they played on Sunday, it went just how we thought we both expected. I said a blowout. I knew it would probably most likely be a blowout going into game two, the way they came out and lost in game one. So what you expecting on game three, Greg?
Um, I would say game three, man. I think, like I say, man, Tyrese Halliburton gonna have to set the tone, man. He's gonna have to set the tone early. You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
and and, and I get it. He's a facilitator. He's a true point guard. He like when you talking about facilitating, he's probably the best in the league. Players like him and Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is much older now, but he and you can't forget about Chris Paul. But like, the out of the young facilitators, the young point guard, true point guards, he's the best in the league. And so, but even with that, right, sometimes, man, your help is not going to be there. You have to set the tone for your team, especially at home. You got to understand you have a lot of role players. Now you have players like Pascal Siakam is a veteran. He's familiar with winning the championship. He was on the team, Toronto Raptors team when they beat
Maybe. when
He,
they
right.
beat the Warriors.
Yeah, they beat the Warriors a couple of years back. You get what I'm saying? You have Miles Turner that was there a couple of years. So you have guys on your team or whatnot. Neesmith, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, man, you being the leader, the face of this team. So you it's pretty much being the face of the team pretty much put you in a leadership standpoint, put you at in the standpoint of being the leader of the team. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're
Um,
saying.
so I mean, of course, players like Miles Turner has been there longer. He was there for the development of this team, but you're the face of the team. You're the guy everybody come to see. You the offense runs through you. So you have to set the tone early for this team. You cannot be looking to pass the ball to players that probably average 15 points a night. You know, I mean, if it work out, cool, but you have to set the tone. You're back and it's crazy, right? Because it's not like Indiana back is against the wall. They pretty much got the ups right now because they won the first away game. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though the series 1-1, and they're going back to Indiana, but you're the underdog. You get what I'm saying? You're playing against a much better. It keep going out. You're playing against a much
Yeah,
better team in OKC. So it's like when you come out there, man, you gotta set the tone for your team, man. And I can't stress that enough.
well, I think also too when you look at the Pacers, man, I just think that also can they keep up with OKC when it comes to offensively? I mean, they can keep. I'm not gonna say offense. I'm sorry, defensively, man. Like OKC got a lot of guys, and they're long. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I just think that the Pacers right now, the Pacers. I don't. I just think OKC the better team right now, man. I
Oh,
can't
of course.
put no other ways around it, man. They're just a better team, man. I don't see Tyrese Halliburton gonna have to do a lot. He's the star guy to care, like you say. He's gonna have to set the tone. Um, but I think you're gonna need guys like McConnell to come step his game up. You know what I'm saying? I can't number 00. I don't want to mess his last name much. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
His name number 00. He gonna have to play better. Like a lot of the role players gonna have to come and step up if they're gonna win this series. It's gonna have to be the other guys outside of Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, beating. You know what I'm saying? And Miles Turner. Those are three guys. Uh, but other the role players, and that's what's so cool about the finals, man, is the other guys that stepped up. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Pascal Siakam, you know what I'm saying? He was one of those other guys when it was with the Raptors. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Now he's in a role
Well,
now where he's in a bigger role. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's just like the others gonna have to step up. And I think guys on OKC, guys like Alex Caruso, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a guy that's gonna be key in this series.
Right. And I think Alex Caruso been key to a lot of games in the finals or whatnot. His defense, man, when you look back at the Denver game or whatnot, the Denver series, you know, him playing defense, even go back to when he was with the Lakers. You
Right,
know, he came up with a lot of fourth quarter stops, man, in that series, man. And so, you have a dude that's gonna play hard nosed defense. You talking about like a pit bull out there.
right,
And can also, when you have a player like Alex Caruso that's going to play defense. I mean, on his worst night, he's going to play defense.
right,
And you come out, he end up giving you 10 points. You get what I'm saying? So that take your offense, man, to a whole nother level because you
right.
got players off your bench that's contributing. You know, and like I said, man, I mean, it's pretty much, clear as day, man. OKC is the better team. Um, Defensive, we already know what OKC was able to do on the offensive side. They got one of the best scorers in the league in SGA. But seeing what they have done all season on defense, you get what I'm saying? Leading in probably every statistical category on defense. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, man, and I think with if Indiana want to have any type of success, man, in game 3, man, you have to minimize the turnovers, man. You have to be able to minimize those or whatnot, because they all want that's what helped them game 1 because OKC was coming into the this season. I mean, coming into the finals, they was the number one team in points off turnovers. And game one, they probably scored their lowest points, lowest margin of points off turnovers in game one. So it's like, even when you make mistakes, man, you have to get back on defense as well, man. That you got to be able to hustle, man.
Now, one thing I will say about this Pacers team is they're not out any game. You get what I'm saying? And I was telling this to one of my buddies. I was like, in order to beat the Pacers, you got to put up 20 plus. Like you got to apply pressure the whole game, and that's what OKC did game two. Like they didn't let their foot off the gas. I kind of felt like in game one, I don't say they took their foot off the gas, but it was more so like the shots they was hitting early on in the game, they just wasn't falling. Like they was rimming out. It was just like it got cold at the wrong time. And I think they
Right.
wanted to make a certain effort in game two. Hey, let's keep the tempo going. Let's keep that defense, that suffocating defense. When you got those guys, like I say, man, they long, man. SGA is a big point guard. You know, Jalen Williams, your wing guy. You got Chet Holmgren, a guy that he can play big. You know, he's a small guy, but he's tough. Like, I mean, people don't get
Right.
it messed up. Chet Holmgren, he a skinny dude, but he
He can
tough though. You
protect
know
the
what I'm
he
saying?
can
He'll go
protect the
down there and
rim.
he'll bang.
Yeah, he can protect the rim and
He'll
grab
take the rim.
rebound.
And then
And he
you
can
know what I'm
stretch the
saying?
flow on
He,
offense.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So and it's like that combination, man. You know, it's hard for any team to beat like that. And so I gotta give Pace they props. They still stay in the game, but again, it's just the OKC is just so deep and they're so young, man. This team is gonna be very dangerous. I mean, in the Western Conference, man. Don't get me wrong, the Western Conference it's competitive, but just with the money situation in OKC, the draft picks they got, this team, man, is gonna be very hard to beat in the next few years in the Western Conference.
Right.
So we're gonna segue into our final topic of the night. And if you got guys that's online right now, I dropped the link in the comment section so you can join in and talk about the conversation as well, man. So hey, we want to hear your thoughts, man, on the podcast, man.
I got a question for you while you at it, man.
Right.
What you think about New York letting Tom Thibodeau go?
Man, I thought that was the dumbest move ever, man. And I get and people probably gonna fry me for this, but this guy has been the most winningest coach you guys had in a long time. Has taken you to the freaking Eastern Conference Finals. Y'all, it's been almost 20 years since y'all been up, and you fired this guy. I think you had to give Tibbs a little more time. Granted, we know Tibbs is stubborn with his rotations, things like that. He can overwork players, you know what I'm saying, and players get tired. But you got to give them a chance to make it right. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them a chance to make it right. And I just thought that they dropped the ball on that. And now is there saying reports that Jason Kidd's in the running? Obviously they Mike Malone was probably their top target to get, but I mean, man, I didn't like the hire. I didn't like the firing. I didn't like the firing.
Right. Man, my honest opinion, man, I think the coaching carousel in professional sports is a joke. Especially when it comes to the NBA. I mean, looking at with Tom Thibodeau, of course, he led them to the Eastern Conference Finals, something they haven't done in years. But not only that, man, you just go back to like coaches like Mike Brown, that won Coach of the Year with Sacramento.
Sacramento. Yeah.
Right. You win Coach of the Year, then you end up getting fired after that. Let's be honest, Sacramento wasn't a team that we was expected to make a strong push in the playoffs or anything like that. But it was an accomplishment for them to make the playoffs. And not only that, man, looking at coaches like Casey back with
Dwayne Casey.
Toronto,
Right.
Dwayne Casey. He lost his job. They go to the finals now. They praise the coach they
Nick
had got
Nurse.
after that.
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse. They praise Nick Nurse, which you won the finals. Cool. Hats off to you, whatnot. But they praise him. But the thing was, man, you didn't have to deal with LeBron over there in that conference. And not only that, you had one of the top guys in the NBA. You had one of the players that was one of the best players in the NBA at that time, man. And can't think his name right now. That's crazy.
So Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard, yeah, you had one of the best players in the league. That you had Kawhi Leonard, which was one of the best players in the NBA at the time, you know. And then right after that, guess what happened? Nick Nurse get fired. You get what I'm saying? And pretty much, man, the list goes on, man. And I can say the same thing for the NFL as well, man. You know, the coaching carousel when it comes to professional sports, it has become a joke. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't give these coaches enough time to fill their roster, give them the tools they need to be successful. And even when they have success, it's not enough. You get what I'm saying? You have
And I
coaches
think,
that make the playoffs, but then the next season, now you hear about them getting fired, all because you want to bring in some hot candidate or the next cool face of the league or something like that.
you're absolutely right, man. And I think back in the day, coaches got a little bit more grace. You look at back in the early '90s, you know what I'm saying? You look at a guy like Phil Jackson, you know, with the Bulls. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He had his lumps and bruises with Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And before they won it, now granted they had to get the right pieces there, but then once they got the right pieces there, we see what the dynasty looked like. You get what I'm saying? Same thing, and I gotta use Phil again in LA, same way. He had to go through his bumps and bruises with Shaq and Kobe. Now, granted, I know a lot of people gonna be like, well, those are generational players and things like that. But the coaching still matters. You can't win a championship without the coach. He got to put you in the
You gotta
right
have a
spot.
coach.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like coaching in the early days, coaches was given that grace. Versus now, I feel like the player empowerment and a lot in the NFL with player empowerment has taken a lot of the power away from the coaches. And I
Right.
think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in professional sports is the players have too much power. Now, granted, I'm all for player empowerment, and when the organizations treat you like shit, absolutely, you got every right. But when you got, in the situation with Tom Thibodeau, man, I just feel like it was wrong, man. And I mean,
Right.
New York fans might not agree with that, but I think it's wrong, though.
Right.
Yeah. Let's say it went to some Jaguar talk, man. So let's talk about these OTAs, man. I wanna start off. I dropped a video today, and I'm just gonna get right into it with the TravisHunter, man. They were saying something about he playing too much at practice, and everybody just been having TravisHunter name in their mouth on social media, man. From him not having a prenup, which I don't know what the hell that got to do with football. And it's just a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's going on in the media with Travis Hunter. But I feel like he's blocking out the noise. And I think he's going to perform and he's going to live up to the expectations this year, man.
Man, I'd be glad this don't stop acting up.
Yeah,
I can still hear you though. It like it's been going in and out.
it's all good. You go ahead and take off, Greg.
With Travis Hunter, man, I think like I say, man, as far as with that, man, it's crazy, right? Because the media always gonna look for something to bring up or whatnot. It's good radio, it's good television. So I mean, from what I've been listening, I've been tuned in to 1010 XL, and I pretty much been hearing some good stuff for what I haven't heard anything bad. I heard the only thing they were saying like the media haven't not really been able to cover him for us like being able on the defensive side of the ball because the days that the media have done coverage, he was on the offensive side of the ball. But the day they covered him, but they really didn't give pretty much no take today, like as of right now.
Yeah, man, I think he's doing great, man, in OTAs, man. Some of the film footage that I've seen, he seems like he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people had that little footage out by his route running, but like, come on, man. He's a young kid in the NFL. He still got to learn that position. We know that in college, you know, talent, the better talent always win. And that's not always the case in the NFL. You're gonna have scheme, they're gonna scheme you, they're gonna know your weaknesses, things like that. And it's a much different game in the NFL. So like I think we just gotta give him a little grace on that. I think he'll be fine, but I think overall, man, we just look at OTAs where he's doing it. That I haven't heard. I mean, it's been all positive. I just think that a lot of people that are not Jaguar fans, they're gonna find anything to say. In the mainstream media, they're always gonna hate on Jacksonville for any little thing we do. They find something to say about us. So I think it's just a lot of that that's really going on right now when it comes to Travis Hunter, man. The negative publicity that he's getting.
Right, right.
So let's talk Trevor though, man. You know, Trevor Lawrence. You know, something that's what me and you we've been heated about that one. And I want to say, what's your expectations on him this season? He's coming into the year that all eyes is on him. You got probably the most talented roster they probably put around you as far as speed wise at the out wide outs with Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas. You know what I'm saying? And you got the Money Brown coming from the Redskins. You know what I'm saying? He's another speeds guy too. So on the outsides, man, it's looking like, man, he should be able to get to those targets. Um, I think Trevor's gonna have a bounce back year too as well, man. Uh, but again, and I know you're gonna harp on it when you talk, it's the turnovers, man. Taking care of the ball, man. And I'm gonna let you take off, Greg.
I really, man, it's crazy, right? Because I don't even know what my expectation should be right now. Like I really don't even have an expectation. I know what I want, but I'm not going to get my hopes up and expect something. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Um, my thing is more so this, man. The type of season Trevor need to have like the realistic fans to believe in him again. It need to be like a season where he's 28-7. You get what I'm saying?
mm,
This is the type of season he need to have, a 28-7. And I think that those are realistic expectations to have on Trevor Lawrence. That's not asking for too much. When you could, I hate when the junk keep doing that. I don't think those are unrealistic expectations. 28-7. When you consider the amount of money he's being paid and looking at what he was able to accomplish in his second season, you get what I'm saying? You
right,
got, you got quarterbacks putting up 35 a season easily. You know, like I should be able to get 27 out of Trevor. I should be able to get that. You get what I'm saying? With
right.
with only 7 turnovers. You get what I'm saying? And so that shit, I should be able.
Your your mic. Check your mic, Greg. I can't hear you. All right, Greg working on his mic. So I'm gonna go off while he fixing his mic, and I'm gonna just talk a little bit while he fixing on his mic. So with the Jaguars, with me, man, with Trevor Lawrence, man, I think he's gonna have a bounce back season. I think he's hearing the critics. He's hearing what's being said in the media about him, and everybody's comparing him to guys like Daniel Jones, saying he's basically a bust in a sense. And I think with what they're doing
You can
with
hear me
Lynn.
now?
Yep. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Okay, no, finish. No, you finish.
With Liam Cohen, I think with the offense, what they're doing, it's going to be run first. It's going to be a run first offense, like we talked about on the phone like a couple weeks ago, Greg. They're going to take the ball out of Trevor's hand. He's going to, I think, that he's going to have to prove himself a little bit in his offense before they can kind of just let him take the wheels off and let him kind of do what he do. I think it's going to be similar process, kind of what Baker Mayfield went through in his first year in Tampa, where it's a progression thing. You know what I'm saying? You get more comfortable in the offense, the more comfortable the coach is going to be able to let you, do what you want to do, take those throws that you might want to take. So what I'm saying. So I think he have a bounce back season. If I had to give a stat wise, I'd say somewhere in between 32 and say 3,700 passing yards. I say 21 touchdowns to say maybe 10 interceptions.
That's not good. That's not good.
I think it'll be good enough though. If
21.
we'll run first offense, we say they just say we average. They just say the Jaguars are a top 10 running team this year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Top 10 running team. And we middle of the pack in passing. I think that's a solid. You know what I'm saying? Playoff team get us in the
20,
playoffs.
21 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. That's a poor quarterback to touchdown ratio right there. That's
Okay.
like every two touchdowns you throw an interception. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say that with ten interceptions, you have to have at least 28 touchdowns. You
I ain't
know.
gonna say 28. I give him
Yeah.
25. So I
No, no,
say
no,
I
no,
say
no, no.
25
What
to
I'm
10.
saying, I'm not saying that this is what I expect him to do. I say if he's going to throw 10 interceptions, you have to have at least 28 touchdowns. You know,
Yeah.
that's
I
a
don't I
that's a
don't see.
decent, but that's a decent quarter interception touchdown to interception ratio right there. You get what I'm
It
saying?
is.
Like
But I
you,
think that Trevor Lawrence so early on in the season he struggles a little bit, man. He hasn't played in a while. I told you my prediction. I think they go 10-7 this year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Look at it. I look at that and I say, okay, 10-7. He have a few games where he throw two interception games. He have a few games where he may throw an interception. He gonna have a few games where he won't throw no interceptions. He probably have less games where he throw no interception. He probably gonna throw an interception every other game. I look at it like that.
I, I
You know what I'm
I would say
saying?
this though, man. Trevor, some things he have to work out, man. Like I say, he have throwing power, but the throwing power is there. You get what I'm saying? Um, he gotta start getting accurate, man, with his out routes, especially in the red zone. He
Oh, for
got to
sure.
be more accurate in the red zone because I mean we are probably the worst um team when it comes to playing
In
in
the
the
red
offense
zone.
in the red zone. Red zone offense, we probably one of the worst teams.
Yeah, and that right there used to kill us.
And he's probably the worst quarterback when it comes to being in the red zone.
Yeah,
And so and that has been the story of his career since he came into the NFL, being in the red zone. You got to be able to throw that out route, man. You got to be able to have accuracy, man. That was one of the clips they showed in when they was talking about him throwing two interceptions in OTAs.
right.
Um, that was an out route.
Yeah,
And now normally I wouldn't panic about that. I say, oh, it's just OTAs. That's just something they highlight, just something to put out there. But that's the same route he misfired on. Matter of fact, it wasn't an interception. He misfired to Brian Thomas Jr. But that was the same route in the Cleveland Browns game early in
I
the game,
already. Yep,
and he
yep.
misfired on
It's,
that, like with a
yep,
clean
yep,
pocket.
yep.
So,
I know
and I'm
exactly what you're
seeing
saying.
him misfire on this same route multiple times. You know, so that raises my level of concern because it's like you have to get better on throwing with that route right there. You get what I'm saying?
I agree,
Um,
bro.
now his deep ball accuracy was off, but that's rare. Usually he's on the money when it comes to like, throwing downfield, big plays or whatnot. But like I say, man, he has to be able to, man, he has to minimize his turnovers, man. I always say this, this probably finna be my 100th time saying this. Pre-snap read. Understanding when your blitz is about to come. You know, that's something Matt Jones did better than him last year with. That's why the offensive line looked it better under Matt Jones because Matt Jones understood his pre-snap read better than Trevor Lawrence. You get what I'm
You've
saying?
been saying that for the longest, man. You've been
Yeah.
saying that for the longest, bro. For the
If he
longest.
if he do not tighten up on that, the offensive line is going to continue to look like crap. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes adjustments can make an offensive line look that much better by them knowing their assignments. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the man. Why you think Tom Brady every year he always have one of the best lines? You always look at Tom Brady like he have a wall standing up there. That's because he understand how to maneuver with his offensive line up front. He understand where his protection needs to be in order for him to move around in the pocket and have time in the pocket. You get what I'm saying? And knowing
Yeah.
where your blitz is about to come in at. If you don't know where your blitz is coming in at, because against like not going against the blitz with a clean pocket, Trevor Lawrence probably top 10 in the league last year. But going against the blitz last season, Trevor was one of the worst quarterbacks last year. But that comes from not understanding where your blitz is about to come in at.
Right. And like I say, man, I think he have a bounce back here. I ain't saying it's gonna be the best, and that's why I think with my stats, I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I mean, like you hit everything on the head, man. I mean, he has to play better, bro. You got your paid your money, bro. You got to step up, and I think if he don't step up this year, the front office is going to start asking questions like, can we get up out this contract? How we can get up out this contract? You know what I'm saying? How much dead money we gonna eat?
He
We're
gonna,
gonna eat a lot of dead money.
if it don't, another coach gonna get fired. You get what I'm saying? This is another problem I have, right? This is another problem because I feel that like a lot of times, man, um, Jaguar media, man, we have made too many excuses for Trevor Lawrence, and man, when I listen to them, they it's like the fingers been and not with all of them, not with all of them. You get what I'm saying? They
Right.
was Trevor didn't have nowhere. They like I was listening to Rick Ballou, right, and I'm listening to him on ARod's radio, right, and
Mm-hmm.
and and it kind of pissed me off or whatnot because this is my thing. He said that he made all kind of excuses for Trevor. Team didn't step up for him. The team wasn't there for him, and all these things. He didn't have weapons to throw. He didn't have nothing. Like as if
What?
he was like, what I'm saying.
You say
And
no
I'm
weapons?
listen. I might be misquoting. I might have jump over.
Well, go ahead. I'm gonna let you take off, bro.
He made a lot of excuses for Trevor Lawrence, right? And he say he was talking about when Trevor Lawrence got hit, took that hit right again in the Texans game, right? He
Right.
said, man, that it was a different quarterback. Um, Players would have did this, players would have did that. The team didn't stand up for him and everything like that. I'm like, dude, did you not watch this game, man? Like, did you not see when John Jones got kicked out the game because he got a dude that was in his first year rookie got off the sideline and got into got into a scuffle and got kicked out the game.
Right.
Did you not see when Evan Ingram had the dude pressed against the ground like that? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm trying to figure what he was watching or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? And this
Right.
is why I say, man, listen, man, we have to stop making excuses for Trevor Lawrence, man. If he's
I
playing
agree.
garbage, let's call it like it is. You get what I'm saying? We all want him to do better. This all team. But let's call it like it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at it for what it is, man, because the fans are buying into this, because if this continue to happen, a lot of good people gonna get fired in the front office, you know what I'm saying, on the field, coaching staff, all
Well, let me ask you this.
a lot
Let
of
me
good
ask
men
you this, Greg.
fired continue.
No, I'm gonna ask you this because you brought up a question that I want to ask. So, do you think that uh Trevor Lawrence got the last coaching staff fired?
Yes, of course.
I can't agree with that.
Because
Go ahead. I'm gonna
because
let you take your. I'm gonna give you yours. I'm gonna
because
let you take off. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you your. Go
because
ahead and
right,
take off.
I would say this. A lot of people, this has been everybody's cop out. Press Taylor, bad offensive coordinator. Now, I'm not saying that Press Taylor is a good offensive coordinator. That's not what I'm saying. But man, listen, right? We can count numerous of passes that he misfired on where a man was open that he missed. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? We can count this numerous of times, and we can count numerous like these plays would have decided the game. You get what I'm saying? Now, I will say this also too now. Doug Peterson, and I love Doug Peterson. I'm a Doug Peterson fan. I didn't, but at the same time, when you look at far as with the defensive side of things or whatnot, he pretty much did it to himself when it come to that. Because he went beyond the GM. You get what I'm saying? He went beyond the GM and went to the owner and said that he would like to have Dave Caldwell, not David Caldwell, but
To my
Mike
Ryan
Caldwell.
Nielsen.
No, he wanted Mike Caldwell fired, and he brought in Ryan Nielsen. You get what I'm saying? We know
Right.
Ryan Nielsen was the most sought out defensive coordinator in the league that year. and it
Yup.
looked good. We was excited about that. You get what I'm saying? So now, not only that now, like I say, man, this move made a lot of people look bad. I would say that move. I was even go as far as saying that move made Trent Baalke look bad as well, worse than he already looked, because people thought that was his doing. When all in all, that was Doug Peterson. So you have to blame Doug Peterson for that in a sense. But I would say that as far as the productivity when it came to the offensive side of the ball, I would say
Right.
this, man. Trevor got Doug Peterson fired, man. You get what I'm saying? And when you break down these games, bro, when you break down these games, and we done broke it down, man, a lot of those games was decided about by Trevor Lawrence misthrowing the ball, things of that nature, man. I can't see a game where I can say, dang, they called the bad game. Now every play was not spot on. You're never going to have a game with every play spot on. But for the most part, I would say, man, Doug Peterson called good games and whatnot, or I would say halfway decent. But Trevor did not answer on his side of the job, on his side of the ball.
Okay, so I'm gonna take off on my take. I feel like when I look at that Jack, why Doug Peterson got fired, bro, it was a leadership issue, bro. In my opinion, I look at my time in the Army, bro. Like when you the big dog, when you calling all the shots, and you got like the sergeant major who might be, your first sergeant or whatever, who giving you the reins to do whatever you want to do at the team. You said you wanted to fire the defensive coordinator, that happened. Uh, you didn't want to call plays. You wanted Press Taylor to call plays. You let that happen. So at the end of the day, as the head coach, these are the decisions you made. And at the end of the day, regardless, the result didn't happen the way it happened. Regardless if Trevor Lawrence didn't throw the ball or not right, Trevor Lawrence had a part in it too. But for the most, I have to give Doug Peterson a big part because the decisions you made when letting Press Taylor call plays, decisions you made for hiring, want to get Ryan Nielsen, when you knew that this dude in personnel wise, and this is why I blame him for that too, because you got to think when you go hire a defensive coordinator, you got to have the personnel to run the defense. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think Doug Peterson thought that out. We didn't have the personnel to run that type of defense.
We just had a bad defensive coordinator. We had the person that was just a bad defensive coordinator.
You think it was a bad defensive coordinator?
He did a horrible job, man. You like, yes, he was a horrible defensive coordinator for us. You know what I'm
I'm not
saying?
saying he wasn't a bad defensive coordinator, but I feel like in a sense though too, Ryan Nielsen's style was more of they wanted to play a lot of man coverage. They wanted to be aggressive, which they wasn't aggressive. That's the one thing I will give you. He was
Ryan
supposed to be
Nielsen said
aggressive.
this. He told everybody we're going to be aggressive.
Yes, he
How in the
did.
hell you can say you're an aggressive team and you don't blitz? You
But I think a lot of
aggressive
that,
team.
to his offense though, Greg, I think that got a lot to do with because we went the person like the guys that we had. If you blitz, do you leave your guys out there on islands and they getting beat on one? They're not in position, so they went from
Hey,
they
listen,
had to play a lot of zone.
you knew this before when you came in. You get what I'm saying? You can blitz with zone. You get what I'm saying?
You can just
So
I'll give you that.
So I say this dog like because that same personnel we done seen players like Devin Lloyd come in and blitz. We done seen Alurkin on a blitz. You get what I'm saying? In a
Right,
Mike Caldwell scheme. We done seen these dudes blitz. You only rushing with your front four. You know what I'm saying? This only
right,
thing you only rushing with your front four. So it's like all this aggressive talk. Like you played very conservative and now you got your DBs out there trying to understand what's my assignment. What's my assignment? You get what I'm saying? So
right.
yes, he did a horrible job with coaching the Jags last year. I think he was the reason why where look like, he made Cisco look bad. Cisco was looking like a stud out there before Ryan Nielsen got there. You know what I'm saying?
He was
And
on a couple
along
of highlight reels too, boy. Ryan
now,
got them
now,
Cisco on a bunch of highlight reels, boy. Like, all right, damn, he always
right.
all you see his back of his damn jersey every damn time, the back of his damn jersey.
Right. But prior to this season, man, Cisco was on every play. He was on every play coming in prior to this season. You get what I'm saying?
I
So
agree.
even when you look at Brown, he played better under under
about
Mike
Martaria Brown.
Caldwell, Martaria Brown.
Brown,
He
yeah, I
played
agree.
better.
Now he did.
You get what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? You bring in Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby was a stud, man, before he came to us. You know what I'm saying? But I think Ronald Darby just lost his step because
Yeah,
he
I was about
kind
to
of
say, yeah, man.
he
Yeah,
really bad.
we can't talk.
I'm
You
not
can't
gonna
give him no
and
goddamn
Ronald
excuse.
Darby, my guy, man,
Hell
Florida
no.
State. But I'm not gonna blame Ryan Darby on I'm not gonna blame Ronald Darby on Ryan Nielsen. You get what I'm saying? He
I get
just
what you
looks
saying.
bad. But some of the but for the most of it, Ryan Nielsen made that defense look horrible. But going back to the offensive side of the ball, see, and I hate when people do this, right? When they look at Doug Peterson, they saying, oh, he allowed Press Taylor to continue to call plays. You know what I'm saying? People always point to this as to
Right.
defend Trevor. But I do not think, dog, listen, and bro, listen. If I'm wrong, I don't
Go
care.
ahead,
I listen.
get it off, dog. Get it off. You got it going. Take
I
off.
do not think that play calling was the reason for Trevor Lawrence playing bad last season, or the reason for this offense playing bad last season. For me, it was not the play calling. I would not blame play call, and I have blamed play calling before, but I will not blame play calling when I see my quarterback cannot complete a pass to a wide open man. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
feel
this
you.
was done all season. I'm not going to blame play. Did I agree with every play that was made? No, I did not. But I'm not going to blame play calling when my running back is five when he's 5 inches from the end zone and he fumbled the ball. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to blame play calling when I have a receiver in the end zone that cannot hold on to the ball. I'm not going to blame. I'm sorry. I just cannot blame. Continue to blame play calling for that. You know what I'm saying? I have to look at player accountability, and so now I have to look at Trevor Lawrence. So when I look at it, I say, yeah, Trevor Lawrence got Doug Peterson fired.
Check this out. So we ain't had a chance to talk about this though, about the Jags. You know, how you feel about the offseason moves they made, the draft. I haven't really got your take on that, Greg. So like I want to know your thoughts on that because I mean right now you got a lot you real passionate with this with the Jazz right now and you going off on Trevor. So I want to know about the front office moves. How you feel about it?
I like to pick up with De'Ami Brown. I didn't like the departure with Evan Ingram, but bringing in a guy like De'Ami Brown, I liked that pickup. Um, what else we did in the offseason, man?
You ain't got back what not Baccalaureate, but the dude from the Ravens guard. He played
Right.
every
The offensive
on
line.
the
The
line.
offensive line, right. That's another part I was gonna get at. I like what we did with the offensive line as well. You get what I'm saying? So like we have more depth at the offensive line. Um, I pretty much think Cole Van Lannon gonna be one of those dudes that's gonna stand out. I like what he did last year. He was one of those late bloomers last season that
Right.
late in the season when he was forced to come in, he showed
Mm-hmm.
up. I like what I saw out of him last season. We didn't go big, but we did what was necessary. So I like it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too fancy. It wasn't as eye popping as last season. And we gotta admit, last season was eye popping. We can throw as much as fans like to throw Trent Baalke under the bus. We gotta admit, last season acquisitions was eye popping. We was
Yeah, we got
excited about that.
yeah,
We
we
was
were.
excited about that. But I don't think it was much for me. It wasn't that much excitement, but I still like what we was able to do this off season. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I thought
I think that they made the right moves going forward. Far as like with the players we brought in. And so I think that they trying to set us up for success. You can't do too much right now, which is understandable. And if it don't pan out, I think we won't be in cap trouble.
I like the moves we made in the offseason. I thought there was some solid moves that was made. O line, they addressed the O line issue. And we got speed at the wide out now, man. I think you have another guy in Demonte Brown who who had a solid season with the Redskins last year. Um, He had a good playoff game in the playoffs. He did his thing. And I think he's going to be a big key to the offense this year. I think he's going to have another breakout season. I think he might have a type of kind of like how what Christian Kirk had when he came to the Jaguars his first season. I'm
Right.
looking at him. He might be that guy to have that type of season with the Jags. I do like. I think overall though, man. I think this team is a lot better than they were last year, and surprisingly, bro, I think the defense is going to be probably our strongest unit this year, man. I really do think the defense this year is going to be the better unit. If we had to pick a side of the ball, I think the defense got a chip on their shoulder this year, man.
It's hard for me to say much better that the players, talent wise. I'm not gonna say the talent is much better, but I think that I think far as the mindset may be much better. Far as that we got to prove ourselves. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
I got like and a guy that you rave about that I think is going to take another step this year. The guy Mason Smith, man. I think
Mason
he's going to be one. I think Mason Smith. You get Mason Smith, Armstead. You got them two men in the middle. And then you got Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker on the outside, man. That's a nice little rotation right there. You know what I'm saying? In your
Yes.
front four. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then when you look on the back end, you bring in a guy like Jordan Lewis to play nickel. You got Jaron Jones, who's made it abundantly clear he want to be the number 2 corner. If Tyson Campbell can stay healthy, relatively healthy this season, he's a solid corner. You know what I'm saying? On the
One
back
thing.
end,
Yeah.
I think the defense can be good. Devin Lloyd, you know what I'm saying? He got a lot to be desired out there. Lil Khan, we know him. He's a tackling. He's gonna be everywhere over the field.
Right.
Man, I think this defense can take a good. I ain't gonna say they can be better than last. I'm gonna put it like that. They gonna be better. They got to be better than last year.
He got to
But
be
I think
better than
this year
last year. That was
they gotta put a chip on their shoulder this year, man. I think the Jaguars defense. I'm looking at them to be the unit that set the tone this year, man.
right.
So, any final thoughts, man?
Hey man, listen, man. I hope we ball a lot, man.
That's what's up. I'll be looking forward, man. I'm looking forward to week 1. Carolina, man, definitely gonna be a game to see. Uh, it's gonna be exciting, man. I got one of my buddies here, Carolina fan, coming down, so I'm gonna be talking shit that whole weekend, man. So let's move into arrivals and departures. I do have a departure this weekend, man, and I want to say I'm gonna get it off. People gonna say I'm hating, but just hear me out. BET, man. Y'all gave Angel Reese athlete of sportswoman of the year. I'm not hating on it, but I'm like, bro, we got a lot of better athletes out there. Not saying Angel Reese didn't deserve it, but you got guys like Asia Wilson, who in the WNBA, she's a WNBA champion. I thought she was worthy of it. Carissa Shields, another one that was definitely damn worthy of it. I just thought there were more female athletes that you could have gave that award to outside of Angel Reese. That's just my personal opinion in the parts. I just think that whoever they got with BET don't really understand sports like that to pick. They be picking Angel Reese, and right now the Sky's not doing good in MWM. They probably one of the worst teams in the league. They looking bad right now.
Well, BET is not a sports channel, so
They actually got they about to start a sports look 106 in sports with Cam Newton. They about to
yeah.
start that.
Wow, that's dang, that what's up.
Yeah, they about to start that. Yo, Cam Newton. It's gonna be 106 in sports.
Okay.
So
Um, that was your departure. My
that was my
departure,
departure.
man. My departure, man, is Keyshawn Davis, man. You get what I'm saying? Um, Keyshawn Davis, you going to the main event, your first title defense in your hometown, North Virginia. You come in overweight, 4 pounds overweight, and you have to vacate the title. But not only you have to vacate the title, but you go into after the fight with your after your older brother Calvin Davis fight, you go into the locker room Nair Albright, the dude that your older brother lost to, and allegedly you go in and start a fight with him. Y'all get into it, you and your younger brother who had a match earlier that day as well. And y'all get into it. Y'all get into a scuffle. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly they went in there and jumped them or whatever the case was. And they had to break it up. So I mean to put yourself now, let's just say like, if the situation might probably, Allegedly, this what happened. Well, let's just say, just to say, just to play devil's advocate and whatnot, that it didn't happen like that, and that they just throwing some stuff out there, making it look worse than what it is. You put yourself in that situation. You get what I'm saying? Um, People, places, and things, man, to get you in a world of trouble. You know
Right.
the people you surround yourself with, the places you surround yourself at, and the things that you do can get you in a whole world of trouble. So,
Right.
unfortunate that happened, especially in his hometown or whatnot, because that's supposed to be in a moment that him and his family celebrated, in their hometown. So, I'm hoping he bounced back from that. I hope that's something. I know he will, because he's one of the up and coming guys out there, man. And up and coming, he's one of the top dudes out there. So I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back. But it's like, but you can never get that moment back, though. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's like a blemish or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? People are always going to look at that and to try to criticize him. But I hope he bounce back. But that's my departure.
My rival for this week is we're gonna stick on the sport of boxing. And my rival, man, it's official now, man. Canelo, um, Terrence Crawford. The fight is going down in September, man. I'm excited for this fight. I think this is a big fight that a lot of us want to see. Um, right now, man, it's hard. I don't want to give a prediction right now who I think will win that fight, man. I'm leaning towards Canelo, but I don't know Terrence Crawford, man. I was watching some of his interviews, man. He wanna prove people wrong, man. He think he can
He
take down
seemed very
Canelo, man.
confident.
Huh?
He seemed very confident. A lot
He
of
seems
people is
very
like
confident.
they starting to sway me with Bud, and I'm rooting for Bud. Bud, man, I'm cheering for Bud or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Bud's one of my fighters or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? And I started cheering for Bud in a fight that I thought he probably was gonna lose, and I took him because he was the underdog. I went with him. He was the underdog, and from then on, I just went to cheering for Bud. I became a Bud Crawford fan.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be good to see, man. That fight when it do go down, man. I'm just excited to see, man. Uh, any final thoughts on the show, man, before we wrap
I
up for
got
the
to do
night?
my rival. My rival for this week, man. I got to go with my guy in the world of boxing, the Dula Mason, man. I talked real heavy about my boy Dula Mason. Um, when the Keyshawn Davis fight got postponed between him and Santos, where they couldn't fight because he was overweight. Um, Abdullah Mason, that fight became
The undercard.
it became the main event.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And like I say, man, this dude, man, to me, I think he's one of the most accurate punches out there. People talk about Charlo jab. I think his jab is if it's not as good, it's getting there. You talking about a guy that can fight, man? I'm talking about this dude is the real deal. You know, and the crazy part, right? The same dude that Shakur Stevens fought, he fought this dude too. You know what I'm saying? Man, Mason stopped him in the fourth round. You get
Mm,
what I'm saying? So that's a testament of how good this dude actually is. And the crazy part, he ain't even hit his prime yet. You know,
right.
so I think a lot of those dudes up there better be very careful when they get in the ring with him. You get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people gonna duck him. A lot of dudes gonna duck this guy, man. I like I say, up and coming. Um, I was just talking about Keyshawn Davis, Abdullah Mason. He's also one of those guys.
Yeah, I want to say it's the Keyshawn Davis, but one of Mayweather fighters, young dude. I watched him fight not too long ago. Young boy, he came up on the he was like maybe 15. He was young on the Mayweather. I was watching the fight at David House the other day. Damn, I forget young boy, but he was a young boy. He was in a fight like an older dude. He was about like 18, 19. He was fighting like a grown man in there, but he was putting paws on him. And he
Right,
won that fight. I can't think of the cat name, man, but he might be another guy that a lot of guys gonna be ducking too.
right,
I'm gonna find out who that boxer is, man. But me and Dave was watching that fight. He's like, man, this Mayweather fighter, man, and young dude, good.
right.
I forget the dude name. It'll come to my head, but yeah, but he a young dude. I don't know what weight class he in. Uh, He in one of the smaller weight class, maybe like welterweight, not welterweight, like maybe lightweight, super light, one of them classes like that. But the young boy was nice, man, and I think he's gonna be one of those guys too that a lot of people are gonna be ducking. I get his name, I'm gonna let you know what it is. Like, damn, I gotta ask. I have a brain fart, but yeah, man. But with that, man, being said, bro, it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg.
Hey, man, check us out, man. We on YouTube, which I hope y'all is screaming on right now. Spotify, we got the podcast on Spotify, and hit us up on our social media links, man. It's your boy Joe,
This your boy Greg.
and we out. Peace.